Good morning out there, everybody. Bo here with another Coach's Corner. Hope you are doing fantastic. Want to share with you an experience that I had this past weekend, and this past weekend means nothing because I don't know when you're going to watch the video, but for my 50th birthday, my brother got me a track time package to allow me to go to a racetrack. You guys know that I love cars, and he came down and we made arrangements all the way from North Carolina, it's an 8-hour drive for him, so it's not super convenient. But we made the reservations at the track and we went and had an amazing time with some challenges. And the challenges were really around the way the racetrack had organized things. And it's a tough thing to organize, right? So as I was thinking about it, our 24 minutes of actual driving time, we did 3 8-minute sessions each, but our 24 minutes of driving time turned into 5 hours at the track. And so I want to talk a little bit about that, and then pull some things out of it that maybe make it a little more reflective worthy. The organization is hard because not everybody has the same amount of track time. You can do 1 8-minute, 2 8-minute, 3 8-minute, etc. I think all the way up to 5 8-minute sessions. But rather than them organizing that by track time and start times, they organized it in batches. So there were a group of drivers at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 a.m. So in our group, I think there were 14 drivers that showed up. All at the same time. We went through the orientation, we went through the safety training, we went through, the requirements and how to drive the car and all that stuff. And then we were, queued up to get in line for the car. Well, there's basically 5 cars going, but they don't all go at the same time, right? They're trying to spread us out because we're novices on the racetrack, and so the batch and queue method made it really tough. The organization of putting everybody in the same bucket rather than saying, all right, I'm going to have 5 people start at 2 and 5 more start at 2:15 and 5 more start at 2:30, I think elongated the process. With all that being said, it was still a really good experience. The other thing that stood out was the missed opportunities. There were no concessions. There was, an opportunity for a food truck or two out there. There were almost every person that was driving had at least one person with them to, hang out and watch or whatever. Your buddies, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever. And when you start paralleling that business with most business, we have some trouble with organization in general. We have some trouble with missed opportunities. We have some trouble with thinking about how do you engage the customer in a way that makes it good for the consumer. Okay. Now, as I said, it was a good experience. At the end of the day, I got to drive a race car, and you can see this number. I'm sure it's going to be transposed, but my top speed was 155 miles an hour, which is controlled by the people driving, and I was ready to go for more. I was asking for some more, but they, I guess in safety's mind, wouldn't let me have any more engine horsepower. So the product was so fantastic that it made up for the frustrations of waiting in line and the frustrations of spending 5 hours to do a 24-minute drive. If your product is that amazing, you can get away with some sloppiness. You can get away with a long wait time. You can get away with disorganization. If your product is not incredibly exceptional and or incredibly unique, you can't. If you're in a service business and there's 15 other people offering your service, or if you're in a restaurant and there's 300 other restaurants, you can't get away with this kind of stuff. If you're running race cars on a racetrack, you probably don't have a tremendous amount of competition, so you can get away with it. However, As a consumer, I would have enjoyed the day much more if it hadn't taken me 5 hours. Now, I had planned for 2.5, thinking it was going to be, you know, orientation, and there was going to be the safety training, and there was going to be the drive time. So we had planned, you know, for a multiplier of 5 or 6, not, you know, 20. So at the end of the day, it was a good experience. Now, from a life perspective, the first time I got in the car, you drive around the apron, which is the bottom of the track. You're not going very fast. You're probably doing 75, 80 miles an hour, which most people do on the highway. And it's boring. And some of us are living our lives like that. So once you get up on the track and you start running this giant, powerful engine up RPM wise, and it's getting loud in the car, and you're feeling the wind, and you're feeling the car move a little bit, it's invigorating. There's no way that you're not having a good time out there. And so as you think about your life and what you're doing with it, think about your life begins where your comfort ends. I don't know who said that quote, but it's one of my favorite quotes. At 155 miles an hour, that car moves a little bit in the turns, and it's not scary, but you can feel the car doing this, and you're kind of responding and reacting. You're fully 100% engaged with what you're doing. And if you're living your life and you're comfortable and you're just going through the motions of doing the same thing day in and day out, I would encourage you to think about it and think about what would your life feel like at 155 miles an hour instead of 75 or 80. So anyway, hope it helps. It was a good time, and I highly encourage you, if you like cars and you enjoy going fast, you don't have to be a fan of NASCAR or Formula One to do this. If you just want to have an experience that is pretty unique to anything else, highly encourage you sign up for some lap times. It was a good time, and I hope to see you out there. Bye.